Hello, welcome to Save with Crypto. My name is not Save with Crypto. My name is Maff. Save is travelling at the moment, so I've agreed to fill in for the day, for the video. So in fact, let's dive straight in. So we can start with Bitcoin, and I'll go through some others. Probably Solana, Ethereum, whatever else really. I might think of a few others as we go. So I'm going to just shrink me down. I might even make me disappear. How tiny does the thumbnail go? Make me insignificantly minuscule. maybe go there. So this is Bitcoin on the daily chart. The way I've got this set up is that we've got the VRVP showing. I do like to use this colour scheme with the white for the bullish candles and the light blue cyanish for the bearish candles. The red was really quite stressing me out. I'm finding this just easier on the eye. Just generally a bit more, it doesn't affect me psychologically. So if I'm seeing a red candle, I'm not thinking panic mode, sell. And then similarly, I've just set up the same setup over on the VRVP, volume range, volume profile. Okay, so we could have a quick look at the styling I've set up. The row size I've set to 400 because the default is just a bit ridiculous. They're like toy size really. So having it set down to this sort of size, you can actually just see the detail. What this actually shows, I should mention, is it's the volume of kind of open orders, but it's really because it's purely technicals based and it's just based on the chart data. So it's looking at the orders that have gone before that are really what we're currently seeing. With this section here, for example, there's quite a lot of order volume just there. If an order has been opened, if it's a perpetual order, probably leveraged, then any buy order that's been opened still has a corresponding sell order just waiting at that level, which is also why you tend to see prices come back like a magnet to prices where it's been before. They kind of want to be refilled. That's why this is incredibly useful, because you sort of see these levels like that. As it comes out to here, you can kind of see it. I'll come back to that because I was just going through the settings. So on the style, I've set this to, so the down volume is the blue, the value area down is the blue, up volume and value area up are the white. So I guess they equate to the buys and the sells. So you can see it as the bullish and the bearish, if you like. The point of control is what the VRVP indicator has seen as kind of the main bit where there's the most volume really, which you could see as the point where the price is most going to want to return to that level really, because that's where the most order volume is. Let's also just quickly show, yeah, I shrank this down because the default size of that is this. It's usually set to 30, and I find it just takes up a good portion of, it's virtually a third of the overall screen real estate. So I halve that. It's still very informative, but it kind of just stays out of the way on the side. Right, so Bitcoin on the daily. I've drawn in a couple of levels, well, a few levels here. We of course have Quadzilla showing as well down here. I'll do what Save does, and that's just to show you which bits are Quadzilla. I clicked the wrong button. Let's try that again. So I'll do that, and you can see that obviously it's Quadzilla down there. You can see what's disappeared there. So if we put it back on, all of that is what you get with Quadzilla. But also, what else have we got on here? We've got these order blocks and fair value gaps, which is some other indicator. Forget the name of what that was, but I made a copy of it and just renamed it just to bring the size down, because the original name it took up a lot of space on the screen. On the daily then, back to that, the actual TA. So Bitcoin on the daily. Drew in this the top here, which pretty much equates to the overall top that we've seen, which shows up as 124,277, and down here we've got the bottom, which is obviously way down to 74,390. Oh yeah, that's updating, so I'm doing that. Just you can sense the servers over at TradingView just straining with smoke belching out of them whenever I force it to recalculate all of this. I've also drawn in this level here because that seemed at the time like an important one. Maybe what I'll in fact do, I'll start over with some of these. I don't want to do that. Go back. Interesting. Oh God, do I have to start all over again? Because I think I was looking at that earlier as a point of control. Oh no, I moved it, didn't I? Yeah. Funny thing with this, you can just move that around, and the VRVP changes, tells you a different story. Here that's an important level. The price is going to come back to that level very likely. certainly go past that level on the way to somewhere. If I do this, it redraws, and now we can see that's an important level. But so it's really just highlighting out of what's visible what the point of control is, i.e. the place where the price wants to come back to, because there's the most trade volume there, or order volume. Yeah, let's draw in these lines then. So here, that seems like an important level, because price came up to there, it wicked up, a horizontal line just there. If I come down to here, that's technically could draw that all the way down there. I'm going to be radical here and just change a setting for the point of control. Nobody else does this. You won't see this anywhere else on YouTube, but I am setting the point of control to yellow just because I tend to draw white lines and I get really confused. You saw just now. That's drawn in, that's drawn in. That seems like an important area. There's all this order volume. You can always kind of see that the price is going to want to come back to there. Within Quadzilla itself, it's probably no coincidence that it drew in this retracement level, kind of where that order volume is. I was thinking about maybe we could put in a rectangle through that just to sort of show where that is, because that kind of turns into an order block. Orders are building. If we then sort of see the price like there, I suppose it dipped back down in. Maybe that was an order block for a while. That's probably not so much now, but there's certainly open orders that have been left there, which you'll expect those to come down and be refilled. Yeah, I'll leave that as a rectangle for now. You could expect the price to come down and just kind of drop into that, and probably do that repeatedly, just eating up those open orders. So drop down, close a few more, close a few of the longs that have been placed, maybe short them out, send that back up. That'll probably happen a few times, I would think. And then gradually it would start to do the same thing through this level here, probably there as well. So the price might come down, might do that. It depends how it wants to behave. It's going to want to come down, back down to this point of control, because there's a lot of that open liquidity just there. So it might want to eat into this level, come back up, bounce off there, and do that a few times. And then eventually, like here, we'll start to see these higher lows as these have been used up, and then it can just work its way back up eventually into the 120s and so on. Yeah, if this seems like I'm jumping around a bit with the analysis, it's because I'm just noticing this as I go along, really. I should probably try and rehearse this and plan this out a bit better next time. As I say, this is on the daily. There is quite a lot else I could draw in there. In fact, I'm just going to hide those for now, because we're kind of drawing those in ourselves, really. Well, yeah, that bearish retracement level there is drawn in pretty much where I was about to draw another level. I might do that anyway. That level plays along there with this liquidity as well. So if only because that wicks up into that level. So it actually is about pretty much where that retracement level is. Do that. And similar thing up here. That's all of that really. Draw those in. Do that. So that is down here. We're talking about sort of 84, 85. So as a long-term outlook, that would be quite feasibly could come down there. Can you see that happening in this bull market at the moment? Probably not. So generally, we're looking at a range that's kind of, actually, where's that? 108. Could see it, really. The price dipping down. Certainly saying that retracement level is very much suggesting that that could happen. The price could work its way back down to maybe 108.5, bounce back at. So this area, 119, and of course where it currently is, there you can see all of this. So let's draw in there as well. That is at 117. Price is currently at 116. Almost bang on 116 there. We've got this range playing. Let's switch to a pen. I know that real YouTubers do this, don't they? So I need to try and do a bit more of that. So the price, you could kind of see maybe doing that, then a bit of that, maybe probably that, then down to that level. Maybe it might. Down to there, that sort of level. I should probably draw that one in, really. You'd hope. Up to there, might bounce again. I need to get better at drawing these. And then away. It could well do something like that, thinking about it. Excuse the crow's feet hieroglyphics of what's going on there. I'll pretend that's part of the analysis. So it could drop down to that level, maybe 108, something like that. Yeah, so we drop down to the 4 hour. Ooh, that played out nicely. Sorry, I'm going to be constantly distracted by seeing these, because this bullish retracement level that played out just here, that was when the price is back at 1126. that was rather lovely, because when you see a bullish retracement level like this as part of Quadzilla, it means that the price is going to go up, then it's going to drop back down, and then it's going to very much just come back up again. And of course that's exactly what it did. So it's a lovely move just there. In this particular case, the parts 2 and 3 of that, so you get the up, down, up. So the down and the up kind of happened in the same 4-hour candle. It really wicked down and then zoomed back up. If you really watch out for these, I found that they're particularly good, for example, on Solana and Ethereum on the 30-minute chart, but all sorts really. You just find all sorts of time frames and asset pairs where they work out especially well. Probably a subject for another video. Could really go into just finding good markets where these are particularly effective. But to be honest, it's most markets. Yeah, on the 4-hour then we can see a bit more detail. I could actually draw in another level there. Should probably change the colour, but whatever. Should do that one. 1176. Maybe there to more or less. Not quite sure about that one to be honest, but and of course where it is right now, you can see again there's order liquidity, order volume really just building up there. The order volume that's building there, as I was saying before, it does really indicate liquidity because of the way that the perpetual orders work with the derivatives, that any long or short that's opened there's the equivalent opposite order that's waiting to be filled. Again, the price is always kind of wanting to come back to that level. So whenever you see that sort of thing building up, it's a really good indication that the price is going to come back. Hence the yellow point of control. Remember, that's exclusive to this channel. You can just kind of see exactly where all of that liquidity is. Also on the 4-hour, we can see this bearish retracement level that Quadzilla has drawn in. If I just kind of bring that into view, you can really see where that's happening there. 118323. So what we would expect to happen there, remember this is quite long term still, so that we'd expect the price to work its way up through these levels. A similar sort of bouncy way up, and then kind of hit there. It might go above slightly or some amount, but then you could really expect the price to come back down. So it's done off the 3 steps for a retracement level. It's done the down, it's working its way back up, taking its merry time to get there, but it'll work its way back up there, and then we would really expect it to bounce back down again. It might even come up to here, this level that we drew in, and then drop back down before it goes up and away. I could just maybe drop down to the 1-hour. Oof, yeah. As I say, I just get distracted by these a bit because I love them. Up, down, up, and here we had for the bearish one, we had the down, up, down. This one didn't really descend very far to the downside because there was so much upward movement in the market at that point, but it still reached it, and you still would have got a couple of nice trades from that. Similarly with this one, just the down, up, and down. As I've been recommending on the SaveWithCrypto Discord server, when you're looking at things like the retracement levels, it's important to also look at the rest of what Quadzilla is telling you, because it's intended to all really work together. So up here it shows anything to do with EMAs, trends, price trends, and down here this is the momentum oscillator, stochastic momentum oscillator. So this is anything to do with momentum. You very much use them together because where it really becomes valuable is where there's divergence between the two. If there's a strong price trend, that's telling you exactly what's happening right now, so it's not to be ignored. But if this is showing that things are maybe on the turn, like over here, the price has come up into the oversold area, stochastic momentum is starting to come round, the bulls are getting a bit tired, they need to take a breather, and you can kind of see that in the way the price came down. So at this point you might expect the price to really come back down to here, but because you could see up here with these EMA trend lines, there's a very strong upward trend still. That kind of tells you that you might get a bit of a fake out back down, or really just it's come back down. In fact, you can see here it's come back down virtually to that level, eaten up some of that volume, which sent it back up again, bounced back up, and now but then after that, what this was saying then really plays out, whoomp, all the way down. Funnily enough, filled that that bullish retracement level. So yeah, you use all of it together, and that's really where you get the value from these things. So it's by design that you get this divergence, because that's really where the value is. Where did that one go? Distracted, like a crow chasing shiny objects, I think. So this bullish divergence here. That one's down at 111.8. As I was saying before, we could expect really to see the price to drop down to even down to 108 potentially. May not get there that low. The potential is there. 109.5 for that retracement level as well. There's a lot that what we've seen so far on this chart on different time frames that's suggesting a return down to that level before it really bounces away. Woof, down. Love it. With this one, it's done the down. It's doing the up. It's going to do the down. Let's move away from Bitcoin. I've spent quite a lot of time on that, much longer than I was intending to, and I really hope this recording is going to work and I won't have to start all over again. I'm going to wrap it up there because I think that we've covered the main things. Really, I need to get better at doing this. Thanks so much for listening to me for this long, and I think tomorrow SaveWithCrypto will be back and from his travels, and normal service will resume. But please do leave a like on the video and a comment. If you liked this presentation, then do say so, and I'll be very encouraged, and I'll try and do more of these. And I think my presentation on these will improve over time, hopefully. If you didn't like it, if you only want to see SaveWithCrypto doing videos on the SaveWithCrypto channel, just say so. I'm sure I'll continue to do videos anyway. Let's get a conversation going down there. That'd be great, and much appreciated. And thanks so much. Please do take a look at Quadzilla. Take a look at our new Discord that we've got set up. It's a wonderful place. We're getting some excellent conversations in there, excellent analysis from some very experienced traders, and questions from people with a mix of trading experience. It's a great place, very friendly, very supportive. Hope to see you there. All the links are down below in the description. You know the score. Thanks so much, and talk again soon. That's going to be my sign out, I think. I don't know. I'll work on it.